You wake up in the morning and lo, your purse is magically filled with 24 hours of the unmanufactured tissue of the universe of your life. It is yours. It is the most precious of possessions. No one can take it from you. It is unstealable. And no one receives either more or less than you receive. In the realm of time, there is no aristocracy of wealth and no aristocracy of intellect. Genius is never rewarded by even an extra hour a day. And there is no punishment. Waste your infinitely precious commodity as much as you will, and the supply will never be withheld from you. Moreover, you cannot draw on the future. Impossible to get into debt. You can only waste the passing moment. You cannot waste tomorrow. It is kept for you. You cannot waste the next hour. It is kept for you. I have said the affair is a miracle, is it not? You have this 24 hours of daily time to live. Out of it, you want to spend health, pleasure, money, content, respect, and the evolution of your immortal soul. Its right use, its most effective use, is a matter of the highest urgency and of the most thrilling actuality. All depends on that. Your happiness, the elusive prize that you are all clutching for, my friend, depends on that. Mr. Bennett continues, if one cannot arrange that an income of 24 hours shall exactly cover all proper items of expenditure, one does muddle one's whole life indefinitely. We shall never have any more time. We have, and we have always had, all the time there is. Isn't that well said? Let's consider some approaches to managing our time most effectively. The first approach is to ignore the subject altogether. Decision. And decision-making is powerful, and it's emotional. That's those knots in the pit of your stomach, right? Waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, trying to decide. We sometimes call it inner civil war. What shall I do? Well, for progress, you must decide. The best advice I can give you came from a wealthy friend of mine who said, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. Just get it done. If you went home tonight and in the next few days cleaned up a whole list of decisions, that might furnish enough inspiration for the next 10 years. I found this out. Many times after you've decided, getting on with it is easier than deciding. Sometimes decision is the toughest part. Here's the next emotion, desire, wanting to bad enough. And I don't know how to tell you to want to. That's something you've got to come up with. There's two things I know about desire. Number one, it comes from inside, not outside. You don't send off for it. Number two, I know desire can be triggered by something. Who knows what it might be? Sometimes desire waits and sleeps for something to happen. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a song, maybe it's a sermon, maybe it's a lecture, a seminar, maybe it's the conversation of a friend, a happening, an event. Who knows? The best advice I can give you is what I give my staff. It goes like this: welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Even the bad experiences. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. So let down the barriers, take down the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you. Here's the last one. This one's powerful. Resolve. Resolve says, I will. Two of the most powerful words in the language. I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. See, that's powerful. That could be the day that turns your life around. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, "I'll do it or die." The man says, "I will climb the mountain." They've told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too rocky, it's too difficult, it's never been done before, but it's my mountain, I will climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me waving from the top, or dead on the side, because I ain't coming back. The best definition I ever got from the word resolve came from a little junior high girl in Foster City, California, up north. I'm talking to the junior high kids one day. I love to ask kids definitions. They come up with beauties. I got to the word resolve and I asked, who can tell me what resolve means? And I got several hands, and they were all pretty good, but the last one was the best. Little girl, about 3 rows back, held up her hand. She said, "Mr. Rohn, I think I know what resolve means." I said, "Darling, what do you think it means?" She said, "I think it means promising yourself you will never give up." I said, "That's it. Webster, stand aside. That is the definition. Promise yourself you will never give up." I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long? How long would you give your average baby before you shut him off? How long? See, any mother in the world would say, "You're crazy. My baby's going to keep trying until it learns how to walk." What a magic formula.
All you have to do is remember 2 things. It is an adventure. And adventures are never safe. But the rewards of an adventure are the discovery of something entirely new. And 2, you can do it. You can do it. The very fact that you're a human gives you the ability to process your surroundings, to figure things out, to go in and fumble around. You're not going to look good. You're going to drink a ton of ocean water, and it is going to suck, and you're going to be vomiting over the sides, and it is going to be difficult. And there are going to be times where you're convinced you're going to drown.
So if you were to go forward, right, and think, okay, well, if a year from now I had a 6-pack, what would my day-to-day life look like? Ooh. And you can get very clear that you're not committed to that. And then you can stop beating yourself up for the shit you never intend on doing. What I realized is I can spend 4 minutes a day in a hotel room or in my bedroom doing planks, and my arms look great, and everybody else will think the rest of my body's in shape. We're good. We're good. Yes. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
In the TED Talk, I cited this statistic that I had read years ago, and that is that a scientist had calculated the odds of you and me being born. And when you think about just even the sexual act of your parents in a lifetime relationship, the number of times they would actually be intimate, the amount of sperm that go, the odds of 1 egg and 1 sperm, and then you throw in the DNA and the uniqueness of your DNA structure. Some scientists calculated all of those odds and figured out that the odds of you being you, who you are, born the day that you were born, to the parents that you have, with the DNA structure that you have, given all the other variables that could have changed something, the odds are 1 in 400 trillion that you are you. And so what that means to me is that you're meant to be here, that there is a reason why you were born, and the journey of your life is to figure it out. And I think it's actually simple. I think that life is very simple. And we complicate it because we have brains that can tell stories, and we have bodies that can sense danger. And so we overcomplicate things. And the purpose of your life is to listen to your heart and soul.
Any decision can be divided into what do I need to do versus how and when do I need to do it. For the what, that is intuition. And by intuition, I use the word energy. And the way to answer any question for yourself personally that you don't immediately know the answer to is to ask this question. Does it energize and expand my life, or does it shrink it?
Energy and stamina. It requires energy and stamina to retain information. So, if your body is gaining too much weight and you're tired, your body doesn't have the energy and the stamina to retain that information. To retain information requires your body to have the energy to retain it. If it doesn't have it, it's not going to retain it. Come on, Pat, you're telling me my weight has to do with retaining information? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because retaining information requires an effort. And anytime you need to take an effort to do anything, it's going to deplete what? Energy. And if you don't have the energy in your mind, it just says, I don't have any interest to want to retain this information because I'm tired and I don't have stamina and my energy is low. That's why energy is a very, very important game. And it's not just about money. Energy is not just about looks and looking pretty and looking this and exercising because I want to look good. Exercising when we're younger was for a whole different purpose. When you're married with kids and later on you're an adult, you're exercising for a whole different reason. Focus, energy, stamina, sharper mind.
People always say they're going to do The biggest epidemic in the world is people talking, not doing. And especially now, and people always do that. But now what social media does is expose people. It doesn't change people. All the hate in the system, that's exposing. Twitter didn't make you evil. You're evil, you know? And same with talking and not doing. Twitter and Instagram didn't make you waste time and not do. Don't delete your app off your phone and think you're being productive now. That's the byproduct of what's going on here. You're just gonna watch TV instead. You're just gonna play Fortnite instead. You're just gonna go to coffee shops and make pretend you're working instead. People always talk.
One thing a boss has to realize is your job isn't to take care of yourself, your job is to take care of other people. So that means you have to completely be selfless. Right. If you're selfish at all, you're not a boss. If you don't have the ability to care about other people before yourself, you're not a boss. Right. People practice being bosses every day because they're parents. You know, you care more about your child than you care about yourself. That's like your business. That's what a boss does. You know, I've had to pay my staff before I pay my own bills because they did the work. You understand what I'm saying? That's what a boss does.